light just turned off. I'm a mess. Oh, I'll figure it out later. Something got unplugged under my desk. Hello. Good morning. How are we? I readjust my camera a little bit because I had to undo it to go take some pictures of band camp because it is that time of year. It's band camp time. It's the best. It's just the best time of year. But today we're talking about something even more exciting. Look what I have in my hands. Susan's amazing book is out, and we are going to talk all about it. So I am going to run the intro real quick, and then we're going to bring Susan up and jump into it because I'm so excited about this book, and I wish I had it 10 years ago. So here we go. Let's see if I can find the right buttons. Oh, man, guys. Hi, I'm Nicole, and as you have probably guessed, I have ADHD. I live and breathe all things ADHD in my personal, family, and professional life. I have a background in psychology and special education, and I've gained a lot of knowledge over the years about ADHD, what it really is, how it touches every aspect of your life and the life of your child, as well as a wealth of information and strategies for living with ADHD and parenting kids with ADHD. In this community, we share stories, we learn together, and we support each other as we navigate all things ADHD. Welcome. Hello, hello.
So glad to be here.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm going to pop this up on the screen. And I'm going to figure out how to copy and paste it and put it in the description. So the link to purchase Susan's amazing new book, The Parenting Compass, Why Smart Teens Struggle, will be in the description. So go pick up a copy because it is we'll get into it. We'll get into my thoughts.
The ebook is at a special promotional price of just 99 cents right now.
Oh, good grief. Go grab that right now. I mean, I love a hard copy because I like to make notes in the margins, but it's also, it is such a useful, like quick resource that being able to have it on your phone to pull out in a moment when you need some tips, you can't go wrong with that either. So
thank you, Nicole.
All right, friend, tell me how we got here.
Well, as everyone knows, I have been working with twice exceptional teens. That is, teens who are gifted and have one or more disability labels for almost 40 years. And then 30 years ago, I had my first child. And it turns out, we found out when she was 3 that she was twice exceptional. And a year later, I had my second child, and he turned out to be twice exceptional as well. So after 10 years of being in the field, I ended up having 2 twice exceptional kids of my own. And so I ended up living the same life as my clients. So after working in this field for all these years, and then 14 years ago now, I think, I took over the admin of what's now the largest Parenting Twice Exceptional Children Facebook group. It's an international group called Parenting Twice Exceptional Children. Though we're primarily in the US, Canada, and UK, we have members from almost 70 countries, including the Scandinavian countries, African countries, European countries, Asian countries. And we talk to families every single day about the issues involved with parenting twice exceptional children. Now, there are dozens of books available on how to help these children in school, how to identify them, how to get school plans available to them. But there are just not that many books about the special issues of parenting our children, as
No,
you know
there's
as well,
not.
Nicole, because you have several of these children yourself.
I
And
do.
and so I started with the idea of this book literally 10 years ago. And then I kind of put it aside. COVID happened. I started growing my coaching business. And about 2 years ago, I picked up the book again and started working on it. And I finally said, okay, it's time to publish it. And 3 months ago, I started working with a publisher, and I am so proud and happy that it's now available in ebook and paperback, so that families of kids like ours have this resource.
Yes. I can tell you, I have looked for many, many resources over the years. And I mean, we've known each other, we've been friends for 6 years now.
It's
Um,
amazing.
so I felt very grateful to have had direct access to you when I have
Thank you.
had so many, because, Susan has helped me when we've gone into tough IEP meetings, when we are struggling with schools that didn't want to give our twice exceptional kids the services they needed because they had good grades, and when we were having behavioral issues that come up with 2E kids, and all of the tricky things in getting through the school system. I have my background in special ed. My husband is a former school psychologist, so we know that system well, but there's just not a lot of resources out there to
Yes.
parent those kids and to figure out how to get them the support that they need. So I've always been grateful to be able to bounce ideas off of you. And
You.
it's so fun to see some of the things that we've talked about over the years, in this, just, it's such a usable format. I love it.
Thank you. Let me tell you about that. So the book actually started, just about 6 or 7 years ago as blog posts. And so I
Mhm.
started writing these blog posts and posting them online, especially on LinkedIn at the time, which was a big platform for this kind of thing. And then 2 years ago, when I started saying, I want to put this in a book, I gathered all my blog posts and said, how can I use this incredible information I've been writing about and make it useful? And those of you who have seen the book or started looking at the book now, it's literally A to Z. And so A is for active listening, B is for bedtime, C is for calendars. I have 2 I chapters. I couldn't fit it all in. I is for IEPs, and I is also for independence. M is for managing expectations. R is for resilience and responsibilities. What I discovered as I was working with all this material is I wanted it to be not just a book that you could read from cover to cover, but that when you had an issue, when you had a problem that you needed to deal with right now, you could use it as a resource guide and go straight to the chapter that was dealing with the problem you were handling, and not just get an understanding of the issue, but get strategies you could use. And every chapter has a reflection section, a practice section with an exercise or a strategy you can use right now, and what I call notice. Notice the changes that this new strategy or this new practice is making in your relationship with your teen. And that to me is one of the most important parts of the book, because what I really want is parents not just to read, but to put into immediate action the strategies and tools that I'm talking about.
It's So great. It reminds me a lot of the format of, let's see, do I have a copy down here? I might have loaned it to somebody. My favorite like ADHD parenting book, which is Russell Barkley's like 12 Principles for
Oh,
Parenting Your ADHD
I
Child.
love Russell Barkley.
I
I'm
do too.
so
And
honored that you're comparing
it has
me to
that same
him.
feel of like, here's some information, and then here's something you can do with that information. And
Yes,
that's why I recommend that book to ADHD parents. And this one is so great for kind of those teens and, these twice exceptional kids, is that got that same kind of like, here's some information that will help you understand what's really happening here, understand your kid. And then here's some very simple things that you can implement right now without having to overthink it and come up
yes,
with a whole big thing. So it definitely has that same feel. So it's going to be one that I'm for sure like, you need some quick solutions, because there's lots of books out there that are heavy and go into I mean, I've got 3 shelves of them here that we're going to go about
yes,
really diving deep and all of the research and clinical language and all that, and those are great. But when you're in the moment, and you're like, I've got this specific thing we're dealing with, you don't have time to read all of that and then figure out how to apply it. So the fact that there's just like these quick, like applicable right now, here's something that you can implement and see how it works, is just so helpful.
thank you, thank you. To me, I think the most important piece of doing that is I wanted to explain the concepts as clearly as I could. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted families to get the sense that they could understand what was happening with their teens.
Right.
But I also wanted them to come away with those strategies that they could implement right away, as you said. And to me, that's the piece that was missing in most books about twice
Right.
exceptional kids. It was focused on the school. It was
Right.
focused on, how the teens themselves were, not managing their lives, but it wasn't focused on the point of view of you and me as the
Right.
parents. And that's what I tried to get across in this book.
Yeah, it's perfect. I
Thank you.
I have not like been able to read cover to cover, but that's the other thing that I love about it, is that I can flip through and read a section that feels applicable without having to sit and read through the whole thing to get to the point. A lot of those books are written, it's like, here's all the background, and you have to read through all of that in order to understand the tips that I'm going to give you here at the end. And this is not like that. If there's a chunk, you can understand this part, you can implement this thing right away, and then you can come back to something else later. So I kind of wanted to talk about maybe what are your favorite chapters, and then some that I felt stood out to me.
Great.
So which would you like to do first?
Well, I'll tell you my favorite chapter right away.
Okay.
That is so clear to me. My favorite chapter is L for lens change.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
We've
I
talked
should have
about this
guessed
a few
first.
times, right?
Yes.
You should have guessed. The lens change is a concept developed by Dr. Ross Greene, an amazing psychologist whose work I recommend and who I have based a big chunk of my own work on. His website, www.livesinthebalance.org, is an extraordinary resource that I recommend to every family I work with. The lens change is a concept that talks about managing our expectations. So I wear glasses. I'm sure many of our listeners wear glasses or contacts. And all of us have had some kind of eye examination at some point in our life. It's just something we have to do occasionally just to make sure. And they put that big machine in front of your face where you look through the 2 holes. My daughter calls it the owl machine, which I think is adorable. And they say, which looks clearer, lens 1 or lens 2? Lens 3 or lens 4. And I wear trifocals. So I have 3 lenses in my glasses for distance, computer, and reading. So I get up to lens 7 or lens 8. And then sometimes they go back to the beginning and we start over with lens 1 or lens 2 again, because I'm really quite blind without my glasses. But think about this in terms of managing your expectations. And think about lens 1 being the argument you have with your child when you get a notice from the school that there are missing assignments. And your kid says, I don't know what you're talking about. And you get into an argument.
What? I've never had that discussion.
Right? And lens
There's nothing
2,
missing.
yes, and lens 2 is what happens when your partner and you disagree about how to handle that situation and things get heated. But lens 3 might be what happens when you sit down with your child, not in the heat of the moment, and you have a calm, quiet conversation about what's going on and why they can't manage their homework. And instead of saying, why didn't you do your homework? Instead, you say, what's making this hard for you? And you quietly listen to their answer. And lens 4 is a quiet, calm conversation with your partner in which you say, this is how I'd like to handle things. And you calmly and quietly listen to your partner's side and listen to how they would like to handle things. And you use a structured approach to problem solving to come to a mutual team decision. This is my symbol for working together as a team, on how the two of you can make an agreement about how to handle the situation together. See the difference already? You're not handling things in the heat of the moment. You're not imposing your expectations on your twice exceptional teen, but instead you're making space to hear their feelings and their needs, and you're validating them. Validation means I understand how it makes sense to feel the way you feel, even if I disagree with you.
Right.
And that's an important concept, whether you're talking to your teen or you're talking to your partner. And it makes space to have a calm and constructive problem-solving discussion in which you can come to an understanding about perhaps a third approach, not yours, not theirs, but an approach that everyone in the family can agree to try. And this is the lens change. Instead of saying you have to do it my way, or the teen says, I'm not going to do that, and stomps off to their room, you have calm, constructive conversations that takes into account everyone's needs and feelings.
Another important piece of that we talk about all the time with this lens change is, I've been talking with my kids about this when viewing each other's behavior, right?
Excellent.
Is kind of this misattribution of what that behavior means, right?
Great word.
So, a behavior that if it was done in a different context or by, a 30-year-old man or something like that might be viewed one way when it's coming from a kid with a disability or someone who doesn't understand social interactions, right? It's not the same thing. It's not manipulative or it's not creepy. It's a 7-year-old, so kind of seeing those, seeing behaviors for, or I guess, I lost my words. My brain went ADHD for a minute. Being able to recognize and interpret behaviors for what they are as opposed to what they might look like, right? So that lens change of this is a kid who's struggling, not this is a kid who's intentionally doing something to me, or this is a kid who doesn't have executive functioning. It's not a kid who's lazy, that I feel like is a
Lazy
really
is
important piece
such a
of it.
good word. Unmotivated is another word that parents use often.
Mhm.
If they were only more motivated, everything would be fine.
Right.
And instead, the lens changes. The wiring in your kid's brain is different
Right.
than the wiring in a neurotypical kid's brain. And therefore, the way they process information and the way they interpret what you say and do could be different than the way you expect them to process.
Right.
That is an important lens change.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your favorite chapter. I'm telling you, I was like, she's going to talk about lens change. So I'm not going to talk about lens change. I want to talk about Z.
Oh, I love that chapter. Tell everyone the name of that chapter.
Z is for zebras. And I'm just going to read you a little quote from it because I read this out loud to Dr. ADHD last night. I was like, my friend's book came out. You got to see this. Because my husband is a licensed psychologist who specializes in neurodevelopment. So all of the clients that he sees in his practice are
zebras.
Yes. So we see, and he does evaluations on cases that are particularly tricky. So it is a lot of twice exceptional, right? It's teasing out what exactly is going on. It's not usually straightforward cases because they don't need to come to him for a complete comprehensive evaluation to figure out what's going on. It's the tricky ones. So it says there's a well-known saying in medicine, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. It reminds physicians to look first for the most common explanation. Most symptoms have ordinary causes and most situations follow familiar patterns. But if you are raising a neurodivergent teen, you already know something different. Sometimes when you hear hoofbeats in your home, it really is a zebra. I love it.
Yep.
So good. You are raising a zebra. Zebras are not broken horses. They are wired differently. Hang it on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
think what's really important about this is that our kids are zebras. They are simply a different breed.
Right.
And so sometimes we as parents have to educate teachers, doctors, therapists to treat our children as because they are wired differently.
Right.
And that they can't look, I'm going to bring it up, look at our children through the same lens that they look at neurotypical children. They have to make a lens change to understand that our children are zebras. They are a different breed, and therefore they require different interventions, different questions, and different expectations.
And different interpretations of the same behaviors.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what the whole book is about.
Right. And with these kids in school, especially, you know, school it's not built for zebras. It's a horse pen. And so it is, but our kids have to, you know, thrive in the system. And then sometimes even places that are built for what they think are zebras are built for donkeys, not zebras. You know, they've got the gifted classes where they're sending these kids, and that's great because they need that, but it's not a magic bullet that's going to just solve all of these other problems, right? They still have delays. They still need services in certain areas. They still need a different approach than even just a gifted kid does. And it's really tricky because it is a small subsection of a community, right? And it's just
bigger
systems are not built for and bigger subsection than they realize.
Yes.
But it is still, you know, it's a percentage of a percentage, right?
Yes. What's very important, and I brought up this statistic before, and I'll bring it up again now. Out of 50 states, only 27 have mandated gifted education, and not all of those are funded. Colorado is, thank goodness. Colorado is in the forefront of twice exceptional education. if anyone needs help in understanding how to educate their school system, go to the Colorado Department of Education website. There is a fabulous white paper on twice exceptional education that you can share with your school district. I'm very fortunate that my kids grew up in Colorado, went to magnet schools for gifted education, and received twice exceptional support here. But Colorado is in the forefront of that. But again, only 27 out of 50 states have mandated gifted education, but some of those are just a pull-out program once a week for a few hours.
Right.
Colorado has mandated gifted magnet schools that your children can be placed in.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate that people from the Department of Education gifted program came to my children's IEP meetings and arranged for them
Great.
to be grade accelerated and subject matter accelerated so that they attended classes 2 years above their grade level so that they could receive the gifted education that they needed. They
Right.
went to gifted and talented magnet schools so that they had teachers who were properly trained in gifted
Mm-hmm.
education. Colorado is an outlier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's not required here. We do have gifted magnet programs, but they currently don't start until, mostly in our district anyway. They have a few in 3rd grade. Most don't start till
yes,
4th grade. It's
yes.
too late.
Well, again, here it doesn't start till 3rd grade either, but because my children had IEPs,
Mm-hmm.
they were identified as gifted in the end
Right.
of kindergarten and the other one in 1st grade. And so I was able to get them placed early. But
Yeah.
you have to advocate.
Yes.
And we have other sessions. We'll talk more about
Yep. We talk about that a
advocacy.
lot.
And we'll have, now that school is getting ready to start, we'll start having our
Mm-hmm.
IEP and advocacy podcast. I hope all of you will join us for that.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chapter in the book on IEPs and advocacy and how you can find an advocate for your child.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because in the book, I do talk about with our twice exceptional kids, this is important. If your child is identified as gifted first, often their neurodivergent issues, their disabilities can be overlooked. And if
Mm-hmm.
they're identified as having disabilities first, often their giftedness is masked or overlooked. And so one of the things I talk about in the book is how we as parents who can see these things before the schools do have to become advocates for our children, and
Right.
that we have to play an important role in getting schools to properly support our children. It's an important chapter in the book.
Yeah. You could write a whole book just on that for
Yeah.
sure.
People have. People
Yes.
have. There are
Yes.
several people I recommend. I'm very fortunate that Dr. Mike Postma, who wrote one of the very earliest books called An Inconvenient Child. That's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing title for a book about twice exceptional kids, and wrote the foreword to the book. I was very honored
Awesome.
that he gave me his time to do that.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about one important message that I give in the book throughout the entire book.
Perfect.
And to me, this is one of the important messages I teach in my coaching programs, that I speak about often in our sessions here, Nicole, and that I speak about throughout the book. I think one of the overarching messages I try to convey throughout the book, it's sort of my motto, and that is connection first, structure second, and always both. As
Yes.
parents of these kids, twice exceptional teens, what's most important is our relationship with our kid. Yes, we have to help them get their homework done. Yes, we have to teach them responsibilities, how to care for themselves, their hygiene, doing their laundry, cleaning their rooms, learning how to do chores. Yes, we have to help them learn responsibilities such as learning how to turn their homework in and talk to their teachers and so on and so on. But it's not about consequences or punishments. What it's really about, what my book is about, is how to develop the best possible relationship with your twice exceptional teen. Yes, perhaps you didn't have this book when your kid was a younger child. It's not too late. It doesn't
No.
matter if they're 14, 15, 17, or 18. It doesn't matter if they're 25, because I have young adult clients too. What's important is that you learn to develop a good relationship to your child. And I teach you how to do that in my book. I teach you how to listen, how to problem solve, how to help them with their emotional regulation, their resilience. I teach you how to help your child become the successful, independent adult that they're meant to be, and how to move from micromanaging your child, from nagging them, about having power struggles with them, and moving to becoming their coach, helping them become effective, successful adults by what I call the gradual release model, where instead of nagging them 17 times to do something, you teach them the executive function skills they need, and then you move back gradually. You help
Mhm.
them learn to take on the skills that you're teaching them and that I teach in my role as a coach, and manage, help them manage their own lives. Connection first, listening, understanding, respecting their feelings and needs, helping them learn to problem solve by providing all the structure they need that I teach you in the book, all the strategies I teach in the exercises in every chapter, and by providing both the
Right.
connection, the relationship, the mutual trust and respect, you're able to move them on that path to the successful, independent adulthood that they need to have. That's the real message of my book, I think, Nicole.
It's so great. I'm definitely in my oldest son moves out next week.
Oh
And
my
there's
goodness, I'm so
so
excited.
listen, it's a lot. It's a lot for us both. Emotionally, there's so much nostalgia about when I moved out and went to college and just the amazing adventure. And then there's this, he's done so incredibly well in high school, like better than we ever could have imagined. And just, but there's always just kind of that in the back of your mind of, are they going to be able to transfer those skills? Is he going to be able to keep up with
Yes.
it, and maintain the success that he has worked so hard for in this new environment, in this new setting? And even just things like packing up his room, and he's like, I don't know where to start. These skills that we've never had the opportunity to teach before, of how do you decide what to take with you and what not, and so we're
Yes.
going through a lot of it right now, and it is a weird time. So
Yeah.
exciting, but there's a lot of emotions for both of us this week as we
Yes.
prepare.
Yes. Emotions for you and for him,
Mhm.
because he's super excited. I mean, I know I went through it with my kids, I go through it with my clients. College is this transitional time that
Mhm.
kids have been taught to look forward to. And yet, for our twice exceptional kids, there's all these, oh, what's the right word? Trepidations.
Yeah.
Will I be able to do it? Is it going to be overwhelming? Oh my
Mhm.
God, the anxiety. Am I going to find friends? Am I going to fit in? Am I going to be able to manage the load? And
Mhm.
your job as the parent is support, 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 support. It's
Yeah.
not telling them what to do,
Right.
it's helping them learn their accommodations.
Mhm.
It's helping them reach out to the disability office at their college, helping them be able to ask the right questions. It's reminding them of what accommodations have worked for them in your home, in their high school, and helping them establish those accommodations in their new setting.
Right.
Right?
It's interesting because, it's like the minute he turned 18, like he had to go and sign a bunch of forms for me to be able to come with
Yes.
him to that meeting, and
Yes.
or help him register for his classes, like, because he's an adult now and he has those, the FERPA rights, educational rights to
Yes.
privacy, that he's like, well, why would I want that? Like, well, a lot of people do. And it's now your right to allow me rather than my responsibility to do for you.
Yes.
And it's a very interesting watching him process kind of that transition of,
Yes.
well, we need to set this meeting up. It's like, no, you need to set that meeting up. So
there are two wonderful books that I recommend. I'm sorry I haven't mentioned them to you before, Nicole.
no, that's all right.
There are two wonderful books that I recommend for parents in this transition. Let me get those up here.
So I'm gonna flash this on the screen for anybody who came in late while she's finding that.
Yeah.
Dr. Susan's new book. It is available on Amazon right now. There is a special for the Kindle or ebook edition running right now. So go grab it. I recommend getting a hard copy too, because I like to make notes in the margins, but having that e-version available on your phone when you're out and about, or just easy to grab, is awesome. And it's on a special, did you say 99 cents today?
99 cents this week.
Wild.
Here we go. So the first book that I recommend, whoops, I'm apparently on the wrong link right now. Let me get back to us. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, here we are, StreamYard. The first book I recommend is called The Parent's Guide to College Students on the Spectrum. It's by Lorraine Wolfe and Jane Brown. It is an amazing strategy book. And there is a version that you can give to, this is the parenting guide. There's one for disability offices.
Oh, great.
So you can actually buy the other version and provide it to the disability office of the college that your student goes to. And it is the Parent's Guide to College Students on the Spectrum. Fabulous. It's not a new book, but I gave it to the colleges we were interviewing for my child. Absolutely first-rate guide on how to manage this transition and how to support your child on the spectrum. But I would recommend it for anybody with twice exceptional kids.
Awesome.
The second book that I recommend is by a woman who specializes in college counseling. Whoops, I'm spelling her name wrong, so of course I can't get the book up. Who specializes in college counseling for kids with, yep, here it is. Let me find the book. Author of 7 Steps to, what is it called? It's coming up. I'm trying to find it. She's a college learning disability specialist. She has written an amazing book on, somehow I got her LinkedIn instead of her book, and I will get that link right now. 7 Steps to College for people with learning disabilities. And her book is amazing. I also recommend her podcast, and I'm putting that up right now. I couldn't recommend her more highly. 7 Steps to College Success, a pathway for students with disabilities. Her book is incredible. I Absolutely recommend it extremely highly.
Awesome.
And I'm
Add to
getting that
cart.
right now. Yep. I'm putting that one in the link right now because she is incredible, just incredible. Whoops. Once again, I've clicked. I keep going other places instead of our StreamYard, but I'm finding
It's a lot of tabs.
it is. Oops, paste. And here we go. I'm putting that in our link here. She is extraordinary. I have followed her for years. And these two books, The Parent's Guide to College on the Spectrum and The 7 Steps to College Success, are the two books I recommend for teens with disabilities making the transition to college.
Awesome.
They are my two go-to books.
Okay, I'm going to go grab them because I am overwhelmed, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
We haven't done a session on transition to college, so obviously this is a reason to put it on our schedule.
Yes, where's my content notebook? I'm going to write it down.
Okay. So what's really interesting is that because my book is about the teens, I don't talk about the college transition because I have these two resources that are so good.
Sure.
That I just recommend. Even this older book is absolutely the best one I've ever read on the topic. And Elizabeth's new book, which came out last year, absolutely the go-to book for me.
Okay, it's on the list. It's on
I'm
the
so
topic
glad.
list. We'll add it on there.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So if there are excellent resources out there, I don't need to write them. I wrote my book, as we said at the very beginning of this conversation, for anyone who's coming on later, is because there are so many books about school and twice exceptional, about education and testing. But what was missing was a resource book for parents with tips, strategies, practice, exercises for parenting our kids. And I'm focusing on teens because what was important to me was parents, our kids aren't always identified early. As we said, only 27 states have gifted education programs at all. And so many of them are not funded. Many of our kids are not identified until 4th or 5th grade when academic needs in elementary school start becoming more intense or aren't identified until middle school.
That transition to middle school when
we start having multiple classes.
Requires a huge amount of executive functioning skills that they don't have, and they fall apart.
And academic needs, multiple academic classes with multiple requirements for homework become so intensive, and our kids are not able to manage. My own child, my son, really began struggling in middle school. He was not able to keep up with his homework. And then by high school, he was lying to me about his assignments not being done. He was doing the work, but not turning it in. I was getting we used Infinite Campus here in Denver. I was getting multiple notices a week about missing assignments, about zeros, about failing classes. And he was not telling me the truth. He and I were having power struggles. We were fighting. And I tell the story all the time. I ask in my webinars, I say, all of you know, here I am, this accomplished executive functioning coach and clinical psychologist. I had been working in this field with teens for decades, and yet my own son would not accept advice from me. And everyone knows the answer to this question. Nicole, why wouldn't he take advice from me?
Because it was coming from you.
I was his mother.
Yes.
He would not accept any input from his mother. And we were fighting all the time. It was destroying our mother-son relationship.
Yep.
And so in ninth grade, I practiced what I preach, and I hired an executive functioning coach for my own child.
Yep.
It absolutely killed me to spend money on another executive functioning
Right? Like,
coach.
I do this for a living, but no, they
Exactly.
won't listen to you.
But it was absolutely life changing.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, I didn't have to check Infinite Campus every day. We no longer had these fights and power struggles where we would scream at each other in the living room, and then he would stomp off up to his room.
Mhm.
This is the funniest part of the story. His room was right over our dining room, and he would stomp around in
Yeah.
his room, muttering under his breath, and the chandelier in our dining room would
Uh-huh.
shake. And my husband and I, it was so hard not to laugh. It was not appropriate to laugh, but the dining room chandelier was shaking, and we knew what he was doing up there, right?
Yep.
But it was life changing to hire someone else. I
Yeah.
no longer had to check daily to see how many missing assignments. I no longer had to call him in on the carpet and say, "What's going on? Why aren't you doing your homework?" I mean, I was not practicing what I taught my own parents because I was so worried and angry. I had trouble with my own lens change.
Right.
And yet, once we hired this coach, everything changed. The
I know.
coach
We
was
talk
helping
about
me
it all the
learn it.
time with offloading as much as you can. And it was the
Yes,
conversation that we had with the middle school when my
yes,
oldest was struggling was I
yes.
cannot keep doing this because I need to
You and
protect
I
the
went to that
relationship.
IEP meeting,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Said
so
you
what
I
happened
can't do
was
this. I need to be mom and I need to be able to protect that
exactly. And
relationship. So we
I
need
had to
some
do
help
the
from
same
school.
thing. He
Mhm.
and I started watching his favorite science YouTubers again.
Right.
We got to talk about exotic cars, which was one of our mutual interests. We went out to dinner and to the movies together. It was just a rush of, oh, this is my son. We like each other
Right,
again.
and it's not always confrontation about school and what they're not getting right. Yeah. It's it's a huge piece. It's actually one of the things where so our school district is giant and it is splitting into 3 school districts starting next year.
Wow.
So there's an opportunity as our new school district is building, and we have been meeting with members of the school board, and I'm working on setting up a meeting with the head of special ed and with us to advocate for executive function coaches in the secondary schools so that they have the resources to help
That's
these kids,
amazing.
especially the twice exceptional ones, because that's where they're falling apart.
Yes.
And, they already have student advocates. They just don't know what to do. It's like just train these people really well to actually do this kind of coaching, and you will help so many of these kids. So that's one piece of advocacy we're working on right now is trying
That's
to get the
incredible.
district to build that into the new programming to have. I mean,
That's
there will be 3 high
incredible.
schools and 3 middle schools. So if you have that's 6 people to train, that's not unreasonable. So
Not at all.
wish me luck.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to hear about this.
I hope we can get it. I'm trying to encourage them that I was like, you can lead out on the country on how to help these kids. And we know the schools know like we're not doing the best job with our neurodivergent kids and we don't know what to do. And I'm like, do this. Here's the book. So
Thank you. That's amazing. I'm so excited. Please keep me up to date
yeah,
on
I
the
will.
progress.
I will. Well, it's getting close to wrap up time. So, is there anything else from your amazing book that you would like to share today? I'm just going to tell everybody to go buy it right now.
Thank you.
You will not be. I bought this myself. She didn't send this to me. I'm not like
Thank
a
you.
paid, hired person.
Thank you.
I have been looking forward to it for a long time. I mentioned earlier, Susan and I have been friends for 6 years and have been talking about these topics, on a fairly consistent basis
Yes.
for all of that time. And She's the one I would go to and have gone to when I need help with
You're so
my
kind.
twice exceptional kids.
You're
So
so kind.
you will not go wrong.
I think the message I'd want to leave our listeners and viewers is it's never too late.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You've tried other things. Maybe you've tried therapy. Maybe you've tried medications, and you should continue trying those things. What I do is different. Reading
Right.
the book is a great start. Coaching is different. Coaching, just like sports, we identify the skills. We
Mm-hmm.
look at the rules of the game. I work with parents, teens, and young adults to make a difference in your life. This is an opportunity for you to make a difference with your teens, and you can start now. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. It doesn't matter how much conflict or chaos you're experiencing in your life. You can make a change right now. And I encourage you to look towards the future and take that first step.
Yes. Do it, do it, do it. And if you need help, you know where to find us.
Yes.
Susan, all of your links are in the description. So
Yes.
if you want to reach out to Susan for coaching or, just a discovery call, those links are in the description of the video. There's a direct link to the book page of her website. And there's also a direct link to the Amazon link to buy your book. I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so I don't get anything for it. It's just a good resource that is so needed in this space. As a parent who looked for a long time for books to help with twice exceptional kids, and you could find ones for gifted kids, and you could find ones for ADHD kids, and you could find ones for autistic kids, but twice exceptionality is a different beast. It's a zebra. And I'm so excited for people to have this resource.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about it today, Nicole.
Of course, I'm so excited. So excited for you. So, yeah, we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. I had a topic for last week that we both were really excited about talking about, so I pushed it off about getting through the summer slump. Yes. That last few weeks of the summer is so tricky, and we want to help support you through that. So join us again next week, and go pick up your copy of the Parenting Compass. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to run the outro, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This video is not a substitute for counseling, psychotherapy, medical, or mental health care. The information and advice shared here should not be used in place of any form of diagnosis, treatment, or therapy. Information provided here does not involve diagnosis or treatment of medical or mental or psychological disorders. If you feel the need for professional support, please seek a local professional in your area. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only.